1, 0.
What's up, Minnesota Vikings fans? Welcome to Draft Eve. And tomorrow is one of my favorite days of the year, Dave. I can't wait. This is another episode of House Calls with Skull Dog, brought to you by Minnesota Sports Talk. Joining me, as always, is my co-host, Dave. Dave, are you excited, my friend?
Yeah, best time of the year, man. Favorite event of the year, honestly.
I love the draft. It's just pure entertainment. You look at these mock drafts for like 3 months and you just fall in love with some names. And what's kind of funny is you always need a yin to the yang, right? So you have some names where you're like, oh no, please not him, right? And we'll talk about who my guy is, my oh no, please not him. But it just makes it fun, you know. And you're sitting at the edge of your seat waiting for the name or seeing if the pick is traded. It's just pure entertainment. Daniel, welcome in, man. Good to see you.
What's up, Daniel?
Yeah, I'm about the draft could be a solid like month earlier, in my opinion. It does not have to be this long after free agency.
Well, I mean, gives us a chance to look at all the players and stuff, but yeah, I could agree with that. It's always around my birthday. My birthday is Easter, so in 4/20, April 20th, 4/20. And no,
Happy
I don't
birthday, man.
But so it's always like I always know it's coming. But this year, honestly, it's probably the least. It's not. I haven't been as excited in previous years, just because of the level of need. I think the life-changing or potential franchise-changing picks that we had the potential of taking. It still could be, but the fact that I think we have such a much stronger, deeper team, and we got our quarterback of the future, it's like right now everything is icing on the cake or gravy. And it's like it's less exciting, less important. But it's not. You know what I'm saying? But it feels that way to me. It's just not as exciting as a draft as we've had in the past few years, and we've had them pretty excited because we've had the new coach, we had the new GM, and the different things that happen, and then obviously just building up to getting that franchise quarterback.
I know exactly what you're saying. It's like this is like the hangover year from such a great year last year. You finally got your rookie quarterback, and then you traded up for the top-rated pass rusher in the draft. You had 2 first-round picks, and it's like, well, to pay the price, you kind of had to borrow from this draft equity, right? So now the Vikings have the least draft equity in this draft, and that kind of goes into what you're saying, where you just don't have the ammo, I guess, to really get you excited about the overall class. I guess you don't want to, put your expectations too high, knowing the equity that they have. But what I am excited about is that this is the first draft, and I can't remember how long, where the Vikings didn't have a major need and you just kind of knew what they were going to do, right? Like Quase even said in his press conference that they had a gun to the head need last year at quarterback. We don't have a gun to the head need this year, which is really nice. And that has created a situation where the Vikings being at 24, we really don't know what position they're going to attack. It could be defensive tackle. It could be offensive tackle. Shit. Could be running back. I mean, it's not likely, but it could happen. A stud falls like Omarion Hampton, and they say that name. I'll be a little shocked, but why not, dude? Like somebody brought up a good point today in some mock I saw today. I saw 500 mocks today, so I don't remember who it was. But they sent Hampton to the Vikings, and they were like, "This, just give McCarthy a guy to grow with, build a young nucleus." They got the young tackle and Darisaw in his prime. They have Justin Jefferson, Addison in their primes. They have JJ McCarthy, a young player, TJ Hawkinson in his prime. Get them a running back in their prime. And I was like, yeah, it's not like a really important need right now with Aaron Jones and Jordan Mason in the room, but it kind of makes sense because Aaron Jones is probably gone after this year. So an absolute stud falls there. You could, if you wanted to, you could take a running back. So just to your point of, I get it where I understand if people are having a hard time getting really excited over this draft, but I'm kind of the opposite because I'm like, I don't know what the hell's going to happen. And that feels refreshing.
Yeah, I saw Will Raggett's post on Twitter, of course, 2 days after I did the same thing, where I said, "Would you feel upset if you were to get O'Marion Hampton?" Will Raggett's post today got a lot more play than I did,
Mhm.
but yeah, it was a mixed bag. It was like, no, I wouldn't be upset. There was nobody that really. There was like one person that responded to me that just didn't like him, and a couple others said that he just didn't have the. They didn't think he had the top end speed. I guess he ran a 4.45 in the 40 in the combine, but just it's a luxury. It'd be a luxury pick at this
Yeah.
point. In the same way with, I think you brought up maybe bringing a receiver in, and that would obviously be a luxury pick. But wouldn't hurt. Wouldn't hurt. This is gonna be a pretty dynamic offense, and with the defense we have, scoring points, man. Yeah, Peter Schrager.
That's who it was. And he
Well,
typically
he's
has,
ESPN.
he had Hampton to the Vikings, and he is typically one of the most accurate mockers from a year-to-year basis because he just goes, he makes one mock a year, puts it out the day before, and he just goes off what he's hearing.
Yep, based on what he's hearing. But so that's two because he's in the ESPN now. But Gary, hey, compliments on that logo, man.
Yeah.
Papa Gary, compliments.
So yeah, it's exciting. Thor, I believe it was Thor on Purple Daily was talking about Hampton, and he wasn't as high on him because he only forced like 20-something% missed tackle rate. And when you're a stud in college, it should be up there in the 40%.
Yeah,
Like,
makes sense. I see. I would prefer getting like the big name or the defensive player first, and
mhm.
then getting that Ohio State running back. Was it Edwards? I
Ohio's
forget what
Judkins
Henderson.
or Travion Henderson.
Travion Henderson. So I would be thinking Travion. If we could get like a stud, defensive player in the first round, and Travion Henderson falls to us somehow, that's a knock it out of the park draft for me.
Hell yeah, yeah. People are saying that Travion Henderson might go in the first, so that's something to watch. I could see a situation where there's 3 backs taken by the 21st pick because I do think that the Broncos are primed to take a running back. I think the Bears could very much be on the board for a running back, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. That's like one of my biggest concerns for this draft is I do not want to see Chicago end up with Genti. I do not want to see that guy twice a year going forward. I do not want to see another Jahmyr Gibbs twice a year. We already have our hands full with that dude twice a year. So, and shit, Josh Jacobson and for the Packers, there's some good running backs in this division. So that is on my wish list. I would not like to see that
Yeah.
card turned in for the Bears.
Again, it's just changing of the strategy of the NFL, man. They're starting to lean more on the run because of the way defenses are playing now. So, and that's
Defenses are getting
super evident.
smaller, trying to defend the pass game. So everything's kind of
and they're
cyclical.
playing too deep, and
Yeah,
less 8 guys in the box. And I think someone showed a picture of the San Francisco defense with Travis Kelce in there, and they had guys in the box, protecting the run. And I'm like, wow, that times have changed, man. Times have changed.
So I got an inside scoop today from a fan who has someone in the know, and I'm not going to say names, but I was told that Walter Nolan is off the Vikings draft board due to character concerns.
Character thing?
Yeah. Which sucks because I love Walter Nolan and his talent. So I also have a feeling that Derek Harmon is going to fall a little bit from a medical issue that is undisclosed. And this makes sense because the Vikings brought him in on a top 30 visit. And they typically don't bring in like those first round picks to tip their hand on who they're going to bring in unless there's an injury concern that they want to check out more. So I do feel like the Vikings brought him in to check something out. And he's very much high on my list. If we ended up with Derek Harmon tomorrow night, I'd be ecstatic. We've talked about him a bunch.
Yeah,
I know you like
we
him
both
too.
like him. I think I'm just more enamored with the other 2 D tackles. More of a need thing rather than a redundancy thing. But again, he's pretty talented.
If the Bears do go Genti, I'll be pretty sad. But then if the Vikings counter that by somehow getting Kenneth Grant, I'll feel a lot better, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, just clogging up that middle to double teams all day long, and him not him not having as much room to run. So, but yeah, what do you think that do you prefer him over Harmon?
They're dead even for me, honestly. I would love both. I would edge Harmon a little bit more because he brings you the pass rush juice more so than Kenneth Grant. But I do believe that Kenneth Grant has the ceiling of becoming Dexter Lawrence in this league. I think he can be great.
I'm watching a Harmon video right now.
Yeah,
Pushing up.
Harmon's good. He's good against the run. Like he'll hold up, and he gets in the backfield, man. Like
He makes
he's a
sense
good
if we
player.
even if we stick and pick, yeah. But it'd be even better if we were to get him like at 30th or something like that.
Yeah, I
And
worry
pick right.
about the Bills, the Chiefs, teams like that who could take a defensive tackle behind us. So it is a risk if you move back. He's a guy that might get sniped. But we do know that the Vikings are probably going to want to trade down, right? There's a lot of smoke right now. The Vikings are going to want to trade down. In fact, I saw something from an insider saying that the Vikings were listed as like one of 3 or 4 teams who were looking to trade out of the first round potentially. So they might not only trade down, they might trade down a decent ways to get a couple more picks in the top 100.
I like when someone says, "Yeah, they could trade down or they could stick and pick." I'm like, no shit. But yeah, I think we're a big candidate of trading down. I think 85%.
Well, we always
85%. I say we trade down.
Yeah, we always say this, but it takes 2 to tango, right? Like you need somebody to
True,
want
because
to
there's
trade
been
up.
times I think we wanted to trade down when we got Addison.
Yeah. And there's just no call, or the call is just such a shitty offer where it's like, no, that's not even, in contemplation. It's just not in the right ballpark. So we're going to stick and pick here. So we'll see. I'll be just like you. The whole time that clock is winding, I'll be waiting for the trade down indication. But once the pick is in, I'll be surprised. And I'll be like, okay. And
we
my
could have
first
missed Jefferson. We could have missed Darisaw. It's like, God damn it. How we lucked out.
I love this question from Daniel, and I have a good answer for it. If we do trade down to the second, who's the top guy that you want? Well, first of all, Daniel, there's a kind of a cop-out answer. It depends on who falls. Is there a guy who falls like Malachi Starks who shouldn't be in the second? Because I'll take him all day, right? Somebody who's just a talented guy there on the consensus board and fits a need, like I'll take him all day. But I wanted to mention Donovan Jackson, the offensive guard from Ohio State who has tackle flexibility. He's kind of mocked around the area of 24, but more so in the top of the second round area. I think this is a guard that the Vikings are going to like more so than Tyler Booker because he does have a really high relative athletic score. He moves well. He does have flexibility to move out the tackle. And that just, to me, and he plays left guard mostly, and then played a little left tackle as well for Ohio State. So it kind of checks all the boxes. Young guy, athletic, played at a Power 5 school, and played left guard. So he that just checks all the boxes. And then to me, I think the Vikings could want this first pick. We've heard a lot about how they want this first pick to come in and contribute right away. That seems like Donovan Jackson to me. I do think that Zabel's gone by 18. That was all the steam today, that Zabel is going to go higher than everybody thought. So he's not going to be there. The same thing with Zabel. And then Kelvin Banks Jr., apparently he's going to go early as well, probably top 10. So the theme for the insiders is that offensive line is going to jump off the board pretty quickly. So we might even see a situation where the Vikings stick and pick at 24 and just take Donovan Jackson. So that's a guy I think everybody needs to know his name and be ready for, because he checks a lot of boxes for what we've heard the Vikings are looking for, and he fits their scheme. And I think he's a good player. I asked Forno before we jumped on the show, is this a guy you think could start day one at left guard? He says, yeah, I think so. So Forno made a horizontal draft board, and I think he fit Donovan Jackson into the pick 50 to 90 range is where he would have been comfortable picking him. So he sees him more of a like mid to late second round pick, but that's okay.
Yeah,
Gary,
looking at Donovan Jackson, that makes sense, and it looks like that's where he's been, where he's ranked at.
Yeah, not a guy we've talked a whole lot about because we like
Booker's
some
less
other
of a
players
fit, right?
more.
Booker's less of a fit.
Yeah, Booker is not. He doesn't move well. I don't think he's going to work with our outside zone running game. So if they take him, it's going to tell me that O'Connell is switching to more of a gap man power scheme, which is what McVay did a couple years ago. Was it last year? Maybe McVay switched the running scheme, and the Rams started having a lot more success with Kyron Williams. I would like it. I think Booker's a damn mauler, dude. We've talked about it. Can you imagine Booker and Darisaw on a double team? God rest that poor bastard's soul.
I think physical strength is physical strength, and if we want to run, he's a good player. I think he's a good player, and he's just absolute a bully. And it wouldn't. I would not cry.
No,
I would not cry if we took a badass offensive lineman. I would not cry.
Daniel, I like that you said that. This Irsay guy from Minnesota, I think he was a tackle, but he's probably a guard in the NFL. He's probably going closer to around that 50th pick, if I had to guess. If the Vikings had a huge trade back, like all the way to 40 or to 50 or something like that, that's a name I would look for as their first pick, and then turn around and take a safety or a corner or something to pair that with. Maybe even a defensive tackle, some guy like TJ Sanders. We haven't talked a lot about TJ Sanders, but that guy is a great pass rush win rate. That could be another trade back guy that they're eyeing. TJ Sanders.
Remember last week when someone brought up Jalen Noel?
Yeah.
Wide receiver from Iowa State.
Yeah.
This writer from NFL.com, lead draft writer Eric Edholm from NFL.com has him ranked 45th on his board.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's a good player.
Yeah, but like the CBS had him like ranked 15th receiver, but when I looked at him, I'm like, there's no way that guy is that low.
So Matthew Collar talked a lot about him in his recent pod with Chris Trapasso, and he dropped a stat on that player about how good he is at tracking the football downfield. To me, he reminds me of who's that small Eagles wide receiver, the number 2 there, outside of the big guy that they have. Who's that small? Help me out in the comments, guys. Who's the Eagles' number 2 receiver?
It's on my tip of my tongue.
He's a fast dude. He went to Alabama.
Devontae Smith?
Yeah, what do you say? What's his name? Devontae Smith. Yes. So he's not as fast as Smith, but Smith is so good at tracking the football down the field. Same thing with Stephon Diggs, right? Diggs was awesome at tracking that football down the field. That the 50-50 balls
catches with his hands.
Yeah. The 50-50 balls became 80-20 balls, and it's not like they're big and they're out muscling you. It's just that they could track the football.
Body control.
Body control.
Just when I look at a defensive back and I look at a receiver, I'm as far as ball skills go, I'm looking at can they catch with their hands and how does their body adjust and how does it shift back when the ball's behind them, and just being able to manipulate their body, and he's got it in spades. When someone suggested him and I saw that video, I was in love.
Matthew Collar asked Keenan McCardle for an article. What's the most important trait you look at in young wide receivers? And he said tracking the football. That's the most important thing he sees. Not route running, not hands, tracking the football. I thought that was really interesting.
Troy Williamson did not have that. And I could have told you that when I was doing site support for Daktronics for the Gamecocks back in 2001 or whatever year that was.
You're right. He could not track a football.
2002 or something. Oh,
you're absolutely right.
He had stone hands.
Tet McMillan, Dan, if he fell to 24, I would run that card up and it would be fun as hell. But that guy, I don't think is making it past the Cowboys at 12, in my opinion. Could be wrong. If I'm wrong, that'll be fun.
One of my friends suggested us taking the tight end from Michigan.
Loveland.
Loveland.
Yeah.
Would that be a no-go for you, or?
Probably, yeah. Just out of now, if you're gonna sell me that we're gonna run a shit ton of 2 tight end and have TJ in the slot and Loveland as a tight end or something like that, and actually use him a lot, then okay. I still think there are other things that you can use over a tight end like that. And I am a big TJ Hawkinson fan. I think TJ is going to be just fine. I know a lot of fans are up his ass right now about the way that he performed last year coming off injury. I think he's going to be, well, first of all, I don't think that his game, TJ's game, meshed with what Sam Darnold liked to do, the way that Sam Darnold played quarterback. I think that JJ McCarthy is much more between the lines in the middle, much more short to deep progression at times. He's going to utilize a tight end. I think TJ's going to have a hell of a year. So, yeah, I'm not really in on drafting a tight end in the first round.
I think this NFL writer doesn't even have him in the top 100.
I agree with Daniel, though. He said if you end up drafting a tight end in the first round, that means TJ will be getting traded for like a second round pick or something like that, or a third round pick. And I wouldn't do that. Don't do that.
Yeah.
Dave, do you think this is the year the Packers actually draft a wide receiver? I think it is. It's funny.
Well, the guy, what's his name? Watson in the second round, right?
That guy's made of glass. Can't rely on him.
That was second round.
Jalen Reed is good. I like him. He had some problems with drops, but he's good. I think they need they need a wide receiver. I think that the Packers would never do it, Daniel says. I like the Ohio State kid for the Packers. Mbuka. I don't care what one they pick. I just think they should take one.
If there's Ohio State next to the receiver's name, take him.
Yeah. Or LSU. Or LSU.
Or LSU.
They've been great. Yeah. But yeah, I think we need to prepare ourselves for, first of all, the notion that the Vikings may not pick tomorrow. And if that happens, I'll be okay with it. Will you be okay? You'll understand, right?
People, I would think it would be above 50% somewhere, that are okay with it. Only because, I think we got a pretty intelligent, yet sometimes emotional fan base. But I think most people realize how many picks we have and how old our team is. And I know, and you were getting on me a little bit and about how I was saying that we had the second oldest team in the league. Well, I think we're the oldest team in the league now, and people were saying, well, hey, that we have Harrison Smith and whatever.
Yeah,
like,
it was skewed. Yeah, our long snapper and Harrison skew
but it skews it like half a year. Like not even that. When you have like five guys, and when you go look at the Jets, they were like one of the five youngest. They had Aaron Rodgers and three other guys in their late 30s. So it can't. It was when you. But then you go look at the Packers, and they have the youngest team in the league. It's but we're smart about it. We picked the free agents we got, and honestly, our core is now in their solid prime. In 2-3 years, we'll be like, we're getting a little long in the tooth there too. So we need these draft picks to come up and start replacing some players here, and we just haven't had a lot of draft picks lately. So yeah, I think starting next year, moving forward, even if we traded down a couple spots and got a pick for the next year, I'm cool with that because I'm thinking the future, and that's what of course, the Patriots had a franchise quarterback, but that's what they did. That's what the Yankees did in baseball. It's just the Patriots did in football is they got rid of vets, and then Randy Moss, they got rid of him after 3 years of really good production. So, yeah.
Yeah, man, I agree. So. Is there one guy that you have a gut feeling on right now? Like, I think this is the name they're going to say, or are you just like, I have no idea?
I'd want, nose tackle, but we haven't got one in the last few years, and I don't know if our defensive coach likes that. So I might be just looking up the wrong tree. So a Harmon does make a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Harmon makes a lot of sense for our defense, or the players he likes to put in his defense, attacking, splitting blocks, getting upfield, and I think we got players that can do that now, and so he's finally got his guys, and his guys look a lot like a Harmon.
Yeah, dude. Harmon was my name as well that I've kind of been thinking, but
Well, I
I
put
don't know.
Walter Nolan until you told me this.
Today, I know.
Yes.
Today though, like I've just been thinking about it, and I think Donovan Jackson might be the name. That's who I think will be the pick. Conversely, do you have a guy where you're like, yeah, I'm not feeling this one. I hope it's not this guy, because I do have one of those guys.
Oh gosh. You were talking about that safety from South Carolina,
Yep.
and workout warrior. Those scare me.
Me too.
There was a Cincinnati guy from UFC that was under Zimmer, and we brought him in one year, and he was terrible. And he was just a workout warrior. He got drafted in the first round. Zimmer brought him in from Cincinnati. He was just awful. So I really, shy away from guys like that. Although he did look super fast, super fast.
He's a hell of an athlete. Dude, he has a RAS score of 10. Honestly, he tested
safety. I'm not, and it's not necessarily Lewis Seen.
Mm-hmm.
I just, I want to give our guy a chance. I just want
to
give
Jackson.
guys,
yeah. So this is what I want to say about Nick Emanwari. That's the guy where I'm really just hoping I don't see the name, but I'll say it right now. I will come around if that's the guy. And the reason I'm going to come around is because of what Gary said here. Gary said B-Flow is going nowhere until the lawsuit is over. Give him his guys. B-Flow is pretty damn good at identifying players. He's rarely wrong when he's talking about defensive players and fitting into his scheme and getting the most out of players. I think I do just have a bad taste in my mouth because of Lewis Seen. He was our 2022 draft pick. We picked him at 32 overall. He was an uber athletic safety, hard-hitting safety. Was supposed to be great at diagnosing, pulling the trigger, and getting from point A to point B and getting people on the ground. The scouting report on Nick Emanwari is a little bit different. He is huge. He's fast. He's the most athletic safety in the history of the combine. I believe that's what a RAS score of 10 means, like dating back to 1960 something. He had that good of a workout. 6'3", 225 pounds, fast as hell, jumps over the building. But the scouting report from Thor that I was seeing is that he's a little slow to diagnose things in the box and fit his run support, things like that. So he's got the body built to be this box safety, but he doesn't play like that. He actually plays better in coverage. Not necessarily man-to-man with like wide receivers, but pretty good against tight ends, but good with zone in coverage. And the Vikings obviously are mostly a zone team, so I can see how that's beneficial. But if you're going to pull the trigger on a safety in the first round, you got to make sure that he's not just going to be another safety, because safety is pretty easy to find in free agency and whatnot. Shit, we found Theo Jackson on a practice squad, and he seems to be pretty decent. So if you're going to hit the value of the pick, he's got to be a dude. And I think Malachi Starks is a dude. I do think that. I think that he's versatile as hell. He's going to intercept the football, and he's going to hit in the run game. I think he's a complete safety. I love Starks. I don't feel that way about Nick Emanwari. I feel like he's a combine warrior, and that makes me nervous. So but at the end of the day,
rumors has him ranked 51st on their board.
Really? Well, there are some people, though, if you look, they have him ranked pretty high. They're very high on him.
I've seen like top 20, right?
Yeah. So Kevin Seifert picked him in his mock. I didn't like that. But Benjamin Albright is a really plugged-in beat writer for the Denver Broncos, and he's right all the time on insider-type shit. And he had the Vikings taking Nick Emanwari. So I tweeted him, and I said, do you have some information on this pick, or is this more of a hunch? And he responded to me, and I think I retweeted this. He said, the Vikings are looking to move down. I would expect them to move down, but if they pick at 24, this is the pick. That's what he said.
Mm.
So sounded pretty damn certain.
So
So
this also has Trayvon Henderson 32 and in let's see, Marion Hampton 52. So that's crazy. I can see it though. There's different skill set.
Yeah.
Watching him block. I haven't been that excited about a player blocking than I have about Travion Henderson.
Oh, he's a hell of a pass rusher.
Pass blocker.
What'd I say?
Pass
rusher. Oh, my bad. Pass blocker.
Yeah, he blocks like he can block.
Yeah.
He is the anti-Adrian Peterson at blocking.
Yeah. That's funny. Yeah, it's fun to watch, man. And you can play. You can get yourself on the field if you can do that.
Oh yeah. Yeah. And that's what I'm talking about, guys, to get in there and play right away. But again, luxury pick. And here they say first round. Like, top 30
a lot of people are saying first round. I think he's going to go pretty high for sure. Comments. Gary
Shador Sanders going.
Steelers 21. That's my gut. I think he's fallen to 21. Gary Daniel, throw out some names if you want us to touch on some guys. I like it. Daniel's coming in with a couple corners. We haven't talked about corners yet because that's one thing where my gut's telling me they're not going corner. That's just my gut because I don't know if I believe that they are signing Asante Samuel Jr. like everybody thinks they're going to sign, but I do think that they're happy with their cornerback room right now. I do believe that. I don't think that they're desperate to take a corner that high. With that said, Barron from Texas, I think he fits. Like he's basically a Byron Murphy type corner. He plays everywhere, inside, outside. Shit, he could play safety if you needed him to. He's not the most athletic dude, but he's a dog. He's going to be in that wide receiver's hip pocket and make plays on the ball. And he sticks his nose in the run game, and he's a good player. Siobhan Revel Jr., he's the guy that's just sculpted like Sauce Gardner. He's the perfect cornerback mold. He's fast. He's lengthy. He's in your face.
He's one of the guys I brought up last week.
He could be a steal in this draft. The only reason he's down here is because he's recovering from an ACL, and he should be good for training camp. So if the Vikings ended up trading down and taking him, goodbye me, man, because he could be a legit cover you man corner, follow you all over the place. Jalen Johnson, different type of player. Jalen's more like big. This guy's, in my opinion, more like Sauce, built like just an absolute lengthy cut individual who's fast as hell.
They got him on that NFL trade rumors, got him ranked 12th. Top 100.
Yeah. Yeah. Forno's super high on that guy.
Walter Nolan 13.
Angelo says, whoever B-Flow wants on defense, if available, just go get them unless we go offensive line. Yeah. And this is what I was talking about earlier. There's a lot of things the Vikings could do tomorrow or trade back and then pick Friday early in the second, and I'll be perfectly fine with it, right? That feels good that we don't feel tied into anything. Gary brings up a good point here when he brings up Billy Bowman. Dude, there's a lot of safeties later in the draft that I would be really happy with. Malachi Moore is a guy that from Bama who I would be happy with later in like the 5th round. Kevin Winston Jr. in like the 3rd round from Penn State. He guy missed like 2 tackles in college football. He's unbelievable. There's a safety, Makuba from Texas, who's super good. Would definitely take that guy. There's a guy from Ohio State, Ransom or something. He's really good in run support. He's more of a box safety. Like there's dudes later in the draft.
Second, 3rd rounds, like really deep. Like it's not, we don't have the high end. We don't have as many elite players I feel in this draft, but the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th round are deep. You get that sense?
Yeah, I totally agree with you. Yeah. Lott from Tennessee. He's probably a 2nd round pick. I would take him if we traded back and then had like some pick closer between, 60 to 90. I'd take Lott, I think, but in the top of the second is probably a little early for him, in my opinion. So the thing with Lott was that he wasn't used very often at Tennessee. He was more of a 3rd down pass rusher specialist in college. So he didn't get a ton of playing time, but he was very good. So think of him as like the Milton Williams for Tennessee. So kind of a one-trick pony with pass rushing, but he was pretty good at it in college. But they obviously didn't even trust him against the run in college, which is a problem in the NFL. So I do kind of worry about that guy a little bit.
What do you think of Jack Sawyer?
Don't know who that is.
Ohio State linebacker, edge outside linebacker.
Yeah, I don't know, to be honest. I don't know. I didn't do any work on him at all. I've heard the name. I think people have liked him as I think he's a pass rusher, right? That's what you said.
Yeah, he's an edge.
I believe he's like 3rd round, somewhere in there. I just think the Vikings are pretty much set at edge. So, maybe later they can take a shot at something. But I like our developmental guys, Gabriel Murphy. I think he can get some time on the field this year. Obviously, Dallas Turner taking over for more pass rushing reps since who's the guy who left? Patrick Jones. He's going to step into that role and play a little bit more. And I think they're going to get Van Ginkel off the field a little bit more, and even our other stud pass rusher Grenard off the field a little bit more, and try to keep the defensive line fresh, because those guys played a ton of snaps last year. I don't think they want them playing that many snaps this year.
And I don't think we expected him to this year, right? I don't think he was meant to.
No, I mean, both of those players were never like full-time starter, and they both jumped into that, and they did great. They had such a phenomenal year. Shit, Grenard was 2nd team All-Pro, I think, if that sounds right.
Oh yeah, I think so. I think we got an All-Pro.
And Gink was 2nd team All-Pro, and Grenard
they're
was
both Pro Bowlers.
Honorable mention or something.
I'm watching Malachi Starks right now, trying to sell myself on him.
Dude, Starks is a baller. I love that guy. He'd be a good
He has
pick.
that body control that I'm always looking for.
Mm-hmm.
Catch the count with his hands.
He tracks the football.
Nice, yeah, like you said, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I can see it.
Well,
playing against a bunch. Oh, nice.
What do you guys think? Should we do our last mock draft of the year? Fire it up.
I'm okay. I'm getting to be okay with Malachi Starks. Oh, nice tackle. There we go.
You've watched him before, and you said the same thing. You're just stuck on the safety thing for positional value, and I get it. I get it, man.
A little bit.
I get it. I'm right there with you. But Starks is a dog. Gary says it's time to mock.
Wanna mock?
All right, everybody. Let's kick this draft's ass. Now, Dave.
Yes.
Should we go into this trying to trade down? Is that going to be our mindset?
Yes.
I think so too.
Just because we feel like that's going to happen.
I feel like it's going to happen.
Particular settings here.
Go more towards public. Let me open this up here.
7. Public. I got it all
public all the way. Care for professional. Yeah, it's probably fine. Draft for needs. Maybe. Yeah, that seems pretty good. I like it.
And
you click on us.
Ready to
Let's go.
Oh, speed.
Good call.
Turbo is really fast.
Yeah. All right. Cam Ward. Let's see it. Abdul Carter 2. Mason Graham to the Giants. Ashton Genty did not go to the Bears. Thank God. Will Johnson falling. That's another guy, guys, I think that could fall to the Vikings is Will Johnson. Wouldn't be mad with Will Johnson.
Walter Nolan.
So we're going to stick by my news and say that Walter Nolan is off of the draft board. So let's see. We got Starks here.
33.
Let's take a look at the board. Who's on the board here? Just seeing the options right now.
Okay.
So we got Starks, Kenneth Grant. Pass rusher, James Pierce. We don't need that. Zabel's on the board. Again, I think Zabel will be long gone, but just looking at some of the names who fell. Benjamin Morrison, I do like the talent, but the hip does scare me. Kevin Winston Jr., I wouldn't take that high. Xavier Watts is a safety we haven't talked about. Ball hawk type guy. He would be a great Cam Bynum replacement. I'm not big on Tyreek Williams. He's more of a run stuffer. Maxwell Harrison, I would prefer Ravel over Harrison personally. Wow, look at Shadur way the hell down
Yeah,
there.
he's just been dropping.
And Donovan Jackson's way down here. So let's do it. Let's trade back. Let's see who our options are here.
Yeah, so
let's
you can go to the first pick of the second round.
Does it show us? Can you scroll down? I just want to see what teams are like interested in trading.
Right here it's got Cleveland pick 33.
Okay.
New York Giants pick 34, Raiders 37, Jets 42, and then a couple of really bad ones.
Okay, so basically between 33 and 42. Now, personally, I would like to go down to 33. I think that first pick of the second round carries a little extra value because you have like a day for people to sit on it and send you more offers if you wanted to move down again.
Well, let's look at the second pick of the Giants. It's better. It's better
65. So
yeah,
trying to get
one spot below.
So trying to get
the Browns. Oh yeah, 65. That's a little bit. We go to 34, but we get 65.
Yeah. Let's try that. Let's do deals with the Giants, who are probably going to come up for a quarterback, right?
So 34.
So let's see if 65. They take 60. Yeah, 63%. Will they throw in 246 with us as well?
Yep.
Yeah. Now, let's not get too greedy, and because I want it to be realistic, but that seems fair to me, doesn't it?
219
seems like a real offer, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Let's offer that. What do we think in the comments? Everybody cool with that? Dropping down to 33 would be okay. Gary says Grant, if not trade down. I agree with you, Gary. If the Vikings stick and pick Kenneth Grant here, I'll be very happy. But we are operating on the thought process here that the Vikings are really going to want to trade down. Daniel says 2 trade downs as long as you are in the second copying thirds. Okay.
Yeah, we like this one because we get 2 spots higher in the second round.
Yeah.
On the second pick.
Let's pull that. And then Doogie Wolfson did say that the sweet spot, in his opinion, is that Kwesi would like to get to 6 overall picks in this draft. So we'll keep that in mind as we go. Shador went to the Giants when they traded up with us.
We can also pause and try to trade up if we need to.
Starks and Zabel went off the board.
Let's look what happened here.
Yeah, just click resume, right?
Well, I'm trying to. Do we look at who's available? It's weird. Your picks. You can't see the players at this point. That's weird.
Go up maybe. Yeah, I guess.
Weird.
I guess
resume draft.
Nick Emanwari, thank goodness. Okay, so we did lose out on Kenneth Grant there.
Walter Nolan.
And of course, Walter Nolan's still on the board.
It's ranked 7th.
Who are the 2 people who want to trade?
Someone heard the same thing you did.
Yeah. Who are the 2 trade offers?
Okay. 40.
Down to 40.
And 43.
And 43.
So 40 and 71. 43 and 75. So 40 and.
Just wondering if we went to 40, do we get 71 as well if we give up 34? It will not be accepted. So the best you could do is take away 71 and get 93.
You get 97.
Okay.
Give him 97.
If you give him 97, you drop back 6 spots and pick up 71. So let's go to our chat. Let's go back to our draftable players here for a second. Again, chat, we're saying no to Walter Nolan because I have inside info that Walter Nolan is off of the Vikings board. As much as I would love to pull that trigger, and I hope I'm wrong and that Walter Nolan is a Viking, but we're just going on that information that I got. So my options here, I like Ravel and I like Donovan Jackson, day 1 left guard. I would hold off on Benjamin Morrison here. The injury just scares me a little bit, and I would take Ravel over Morrison. So those are my 2. They're currently ranked 46. Oh, and Tyler Booker's still there too. I say do it. Let's trade back one more time to 40. and pick up another pick. Everyone cool with that?
So we went 40-71, and then we move up from. We can get a late pick.
So we're moving back 4
We get
spots.
184.
I like that, Dave. We're moving back, 6 spots to then move up by about 20 spots from 97 to 71, and we're also picking up 184. I like that trade a lot. Let's pull the trigger on that. Okay, and let's just be ready to pause. Travion Henderson, Walter Nolan, Harrison, Donovan Jackson. Okay, we lost that on Donovan Jackson. It's just the Bears picking here. So just let the Bears pick. There goes Xavier Watts. Okay, so I think we're going Revel here. That's what I think. So we have Benjamin Morrison on the board. We have Revel. Let's scroll down a little bit more. And Tyler Booker. Okay. Yeah. So I'm between Revel and Tyler Booker. Gary says he likes Lott. Again, I talked earlier about how I do have some questions about Lott being only a part-time player at Tennessee. So I personally wouldn't go Lott here. I would go between Revel or Tyler Booker. Do you guys want your day one left guard, even though he might not be the best scheme fit for us? Or do you want to take a shot on an uber athletic corner? Daniel says Revel is his pick here.
Yeah, I'm leaning that way.
Here's a thought. Could we try to trade up for Booker and get Revel and Booker?
We have potential.
So let's click on your picks up here and see what we're... Oh, I mean, you see it right there. We have 40, 65, 71. We could absolutely pull that off if we wanted to.
Yeah, we can pair 65 and 71 for sure, I think, and get...
Yeah. Let's pull the trigger on Revel right here. And then looking at the team's needs coming up, the Niners... Stop it. Okay, the Niners need a guard. The Cowboys and the Colts both need guards on their needs. So this is where I would try to get up here with the Niners if we could. Get 43 and see what we have to send them. 65.
We'll take that.
Okay, it's going to have to be 71 and 65, I think. Okay, so they'll kick us back a pick. All right, so chat, what do we think about a trade up here going up for Tyler Booker to get our left guard? I like it. Dave, what do you think about the idea?
So how far do you... I'm just wondering if we can move down, let it go a little bit and try trading up a little later.
You could. I just don't think Booker's going to last that long.
Which is true.
There is a couple guard options later. If we did stick and pick later, closer to 65, there is Embo from Purdue, super athletic guy who is projected to be a guard. We could just go with that. He's probably more of a scheme fit, to be honest, than Booker is. So Daniel's saying BPA, Skull's saying do it. So someone's saying Ratledge. Do you just want to let it ride, Dave, instead of trading up, and we'll see what falls to us?
Get a couple pretty good players at 65 and 71.
Okay, let's let it ride. James Pierce, Tyler Booker went 45.
Jalen Noel, man, he's moving up.
Yep. All right, we're on the clock. We just missed on Caleb Johnson. Omar Lott is still there, and I am perfectly fine with pulling the trigger on him right now if you guys wanted to. Top of the third round. Pass rushing defensive tackle here. I would do that. Arroyo is a tight end. People like Andrew Makuba's a safety. A lot of people like. There's your Irsay guy. He was a top 30 visit for us. He could potentially move into guard. I'm pretty sure he's a massive individual. CJ West is a interesting name at defensive tackle. 6'6", 330,
Redshirt
23.
It's older.
Light on his feet despite his size, explosive first step, high PFF run blocking grades in zone assignments. That sounds like a Viking.
I think he'll fall maybe.
I'm down for that. So he's ranked 69. Our next pick after this 71. We could go for Lot here and then hope that Irsay falls to our next pick at 71. Or we could do like a really small trade up to get him. Just it won't cost much. Let's do that. Oh fuck, he went the next pick, dude. Yep, the Chiefs took him the next pick. That's
Didn't
okay.
even give me a chance to pause.
That's okay. Yeah, I know it went quick.
I wish it would let you see the fucking players.
I know. I would just let it roll at this point.
Good, yeah.
We're only okay. Click on offensive line for me. Yeah, interior. We have so Jared Wilson is there. Fairchild is there. He's way down the list at 140. Click on tackle as well, just to make sure that there's some tackle converts that we're not missing. Okay, so Embo. He also Jonah Savania. He's a guard convert too. So both of those guys are going to move into guard. Can you click on them? Embo is 6'5", 300. Says he struggles in pass protection.
That scares me.
Yeah, but he moves well. Okay. Let's see Savania. I'm pretty sure he's just an absolute beast.
Damn it. I almost logged out of the freaking draft.
that would have been tough.
Yeah,
right here, Jonah, the Arizona guy.
6'5",
336. He's only 21 years old.
3-year college starter. Played different positions.
It's so wild to me that someone who's 6'5", 336 says he needs to get stronger. That's just, but good for a zone rushing team. Yeah, dude. That's my pick. We need an interior beast.
Looks like a good pick.
So how far is he down the board? He's ranked 86. We're at 71.
We could trade 77 to New England.
Yeah, pick up a couple late round picks.
71.
Not that one. 144. There you go. There. Let's pull that.
And we got him.
Let's get him.
Let's see. Where'd he go?
He's down one.
An Embo.
He's right there.
Draft.
I love it. Let's see what the chat's saying here. Embo at a 30 visit with the Vikings, says Daniel. Daniel says CJ West is a beast. I agree. Let's click on the Your Picks tab here. I just want to see. So far we've pulled the trigger on a athletic corner.
I don't think we've drafted any of these guys before.
Pass rushing, defensive tackle in the third round. A huge guard, potential left guard day one starter in Jonah. And now we just go to work. I like Jalen Reed. Here's another name. Jalen Reed, safety, Penn State. Another guy I'd be perfectly fine sitting for a year and then potentially taking the place of Harrison Smith if he's gone next year. Brashard Smith, halfback, SMU, one of my favorite players in the draft. He's a wide receiver convert, now a running back. Super gadget type player. You can put him in the slot, play him out of the backfield. He's a dog for his size. He's just a really fun player.
139 and 144. We could get either of them.
Let's click on safeties here. If you can just look at safeties here for me real quick. Because I do like Malachi Moore a lot and just see where he's ranked. So Malachi Moore is 186. I don't know why he's so low, dude. He's pretty much good at everything. That doesn't make a lot of sense for me. He has a 90-something coverage grade. He plays in the slot. He plays safety. He's a great player. That's a guy I'm definitely eyeing. So because I like Malachi Moore, I say let's pull the trigger on the halfback here. Let's go with the Braden Smith, SMU.
Did I miss one? Where'd it go?
Here on safety still. You have to
man.
go up and click the X. There you go. And he's going to be right there. Brashard Smith.
Here we go.
Malachi Moore, or is it a little early for him still? Oh, Ty Felton, wide receiver. Really like him at 154. Click on him real quick. Ty Felton is 6'2", 186, 22 years old. Lacks true difference-making qualities, but good depth receiver in the NFL. Go to stats real quick. I want to see. Receiving grade 80.2. Yeah. I don't know. I've just heard a lot of people like Ty Felton as a wide receiver prospect. Gary says Felton works. Gary was hyped about Smith. He liked that pick a lot. I think it makes a lot of sense. He could come in and be like a third down back right away. He's going to return kicks for you, maybe even a punt returner. Smith is a very useful, versatile player. Doubling up on corner, 6'2". This is a really tall guy. There's a guy I like later. I want here, go back for me for a second, Dave. Go to corners. We've actually talked about this guy before. I want to talk about him again. His name is like Za. Keep scrolling down. I'll see it. Za Frazier. Click on him. That is like a Kyrie clone, in my opinion. 6'3", 185, super athletic, 82.5 coverage grade. He graded very, very well. He got better and better every year, and then he had a great year. That's a guy I want to take as a flyer. So keep that in mind for later. Okay. And we already picked a corner, so I want to take him later. So I wouldn't take the LSU kid right here. Seth McCaughlin's there. You like him as he's like a redshirt center.
Be the spot to take him.
Let's keep scrolling a little bit here. See if anything pops out at us. We haven't taken Malachi Moore yet. There's Ty Felton. Keep going. Let's go look at our receivers and see if there's any names that jump out to us other than Ty Felton. Go up again. Was it Jalen Lane who Chris Trapasso was talking about? Go down. Virginia Tech, Jalen Lane. Is it him? 5'10", 196. Speed and agility in the slot could be a weapon in offense to maximize yards after catch. Design looks. Returner. The Vikings need a guy like
kind
this
of player we need.
I'm pretty sure it was Jalen Lane he was talking about. He was really high on him. He liked him a lot. He's at 173. So I like Malachi Moore. I like Jalen Lane. We're picking at 144, 171. Let's see if the chat's liking anybody here. Someone says Kaiser. Who's Kaiser? Is that a linebacker? We could take a linebacker. Yeah, Jack Kaiser. Good player. You see how he graded? 6'2", 230. He graded 90 last year, 83 this year. Experienced linebacker, adequate athleticism, projects as a solid depth option at will or Mike. Instincts, versatility make him strong hand to contribute on special teams. I'm fine with that. We can pull the trigger on Kaiser.
Yeah, it's a depth need.
Yeah, let's do it. Okay. He's kind of the highest rated player here.
I'll be mad if my center's gone.
Good call on Kaiser there. That one was all Daniel.
Felton's gone.
Felton's gone.
What?
I hope Malachi Moore stays.
McLaughlin got taken. All right.
Ooh, Mitch Evans is a tight end that I take a lot late in mocks. Tight end from Notre Dame. Quincy Riley is a pretty good corner, but I want to take that other corner later. There's Malachi Moore at 186. Our next pick is at 184. I don't really want to chance it, and I do want Malachi Moore. So if you have another guy that you want to take ahead of Moore, we're going to have to trade up for him a little bit. Click on Mitch Evans, the tight end, a little bit. We do need a tight end. Right here, Notre Dame. Didn't grade the best. 6'5", 260. Very average grades. Flores balances a tight end 3. Hey, we need one of those. Yeah, he's just kind of like your boring tight end 3.
Yeah, he might be the best third tight end in the league. That he has that potential.
I don't want to miss out on Moore. I'd go Malachi Moore. That's my guy.
Okay.
Scroll down.
He's a little lower, so let me get him.
He's right there.
All right. Quinn Ewers.
Yeah, that dude. Remember, he was supposed to be a first-round pick. All right. Let's see who's here. Tonka Hemingway. What a beautiful. Deion Walker's still here? What? PFF hates him. Oh, dude, you got to take him just because he's here, right? Yeah, Daniel says Walker. I agree. He shouldn't be here.
187.
Let's click on our picks here and see what we need. Okay, so we start out with Revel, the corner. We got Omar Lott. He's our pass rushing defensive tackle. We have our giant guard, Savanaya, Brashard Smith, Jack Kaiser, Malachi Moore,
Wide receiver,
Deion Walker.
corner.
Wide receiver, corner, and tight end are 3 positions that I still want to look at.
So let's look at tight end. It's probably a bigger need.
Yeah, so this Jake Stuhl guy is someone who I see all the time mocked to the Vikings. His grades are bad. Seems to be more of a wide receiver than a tight end. He can improve his route running nuance and playmaking mentality after the catch. He would become a big slot wide receiver 3 type. Until then, more of a developmental depth kind of player. He's 6'6" and only 240. So he's kind of.
I don't think that's the guy the Vikings. I think the Vikings want a guy that can do both.
I agree. I don't know these names, to be honest. I don't know these guys. Oh, Luke Lackey. You can never go wrong.
Iowa tight ends.
Iowa. Yeah. What does it say about him? Will likely get drafted due to his pedigree and because he's the latest in the Royal tight end pipeline from Iowa. However, for him to stick, he must get quicker or stronger. Right now, he's not an NFL caliber in either area. He's 6'6".
I think that's definitely a position we're going to look at in the UDFA.
Yeah, you're right. What else were we? Wide receiver we were looking at, and corner. All the way at the top.
Offensive lineman.
Is that other guy we were looking at gone? The slot guy from. Go down a little bit. I think he might be gone. Yeah, I think he's gone. Go all the way up to the Florida guy at the top. I want to say I think Badger's fast. Outside wide receiver, 6'1", 192, who did his damage in the intermediate area with an average depth of target of 17.3 yards, ranks 5th in the draft class.
That's pretty good.
Sticky-handed, did not drop a single pass, it said, on 61 targets. Give that to me. I'll take that.
Decent size.
Yeah, let's do it. Someone said Dyke is a deep threat. None of those tight ends are great, Daniel says. Yeah, we might have missed the tight end boat, to be honest.
Yeah, I think so too.
We got one more pick. Let's hope our corner's still there. Za. Oh, I do like Jake Majors, the center. He's there if this guy's not. I think we missed out on Za. Yep. Let's go get Jake Majors. Go get the center. Second one down right there.
Take a center. Let me look at him. Yeah.
Ton of snaps, very experienced player, earned an 80.0 plus pass blocking grade in 3 consecutive seasons, allowed only 1 sack in 4 years as a starter. Yeah, I'll take that.
Yeah.
In the 7th round? Yes, please.
Jake Majors, you are a Viking.
Yes, you are. All right, guys. So we completed our exercise where the Vikings trade down not once, but twice before they make a selection. And honestly, I really like how this class is going to turn out. What do you think, Dave?
Yeah, I mean, not a lot of flash, but the depth and the type of players we need. We didn't really look at. Well, we got the linebacker for said he was good at special teams, and Revel is awesome at special teams.
Yeah,
he's just absolutely awesome. He's just a crazy son of a bitch.
They loved Omar a lot there at the pick 65.
Yeah, they didn't like us as much. A-.
They got an overall draft grade of an A. We did well.
Yeah, so for trading down, and then I mean, we filled some needs as far, like I said, Revel and Kaiser. They were talking about how they're good at, and I imagine Malachi Moore is good at special teams. And then we got, didn't we get? We didn't get the returner though. But
well, Smith can return.
True. But punts, that's what I'm more worried about. But yeah.
What was our overall grade?
He kind of fills that need because the guy that we got in the free agency this offseason is hurt. So he kind of has a potential of actually stepping in. Oh no, I was thinking we were talking about a receiver earlier. Never mind, that's a running back.
Yes, they can't see the grades. Scroll down because our faces are covering.
Oh, sorry guys. I'll just get rid of this.
There we go. And so B plus for Revel. Omar got an A plus. Sevenaya, the C plus. The running back A minus. Kaiser C. Malachi Moore C plus. I don't know why they knock Moore. I don't get it. Deion Walker B plus. There's no way that guy's there in the 6th round. I don't know why he was on the board. Badger D plus and Jake Majors B. Can you scroll down a little bit more? Overall draft grade was an A minus.
We're top 40 percentile.
49 percentile. Yeah, I mean, we're
so average.
It's a big grade, or it's a big class. I think that we gave ourselves a lot of shots at it. And in terms of like what I'm looking for is I want one dude at the top of the draft where I'm like really excited that can come in and be an impact player. And we got that with Revel. I really think that guy can come in and start and be like a shadow kind of corner. So
what if we do a quick stick and pick every position? No trades.
All right, no trades. Yeah, it'll take 5 minutes.
New mock draft.
Let's do it. This is our stick and pick draft.
We're stick and picking every single pick. Vikings.
Now, if we stuck and picked this last time, it would have been Kenneth Grant for me.
All right. Probably. Let's go fast. Start draft.
Can you change the speed to turbo?
I put it on fast.
Yeah.
All right.
Walter Nolan is off our board once again. Starks is here and Grant is here. Just scroll down a little bit more. I'm just want to see if anyone is Zabel's there.
We were sticking and picking, guys. Gary says Grant.
I personally think the Vikings would take Zabel. That's what my gut's telling me. I think they want to fix that left guard. So I think they would take Zabel, but I'm down to take Grant. I love Grant. My gut's telling me, and Daniel's saying take Grant. Let's do it. Kenneth Grant.
A plus.
Dexter Lawrence 2.0.
A plus. Even though I want Walter Nolan to be a normal person.
I've just heard too many people say that left guard seems to be the way that they want to go with that first pick. So that's why I think Zabel is like the actual pick in that situation. Let's see who's around here.
Jack Sawyer. Yeah, but we don't need an edge.
No. But yeah, that was the guy you were talking about.
I'd want to trade down so bad. But we're
I
sticking
know.
and picking.
RJ Mickens, the safety. That's another dude that I like. He scroll down. He's the Clemson guy right there. He's 6 foot 210, son of former New York Jet Ray Mickens,
I like
played a
the
variety of
size.
secondary roles. He was the veteran glue that held together the whole secondary. He had a 89.8 coverage grade, second best among power four safeties. So run defense could be a little bit better, but this guy is a great cover safety. So that's a good guy. I like him. Let's scroll down the list and see a little bit more. See if somebody's here. Stunsman is a linebacker we've taken in the past. Billy Bowman Jr. is a safety a lot of people like. He's a little bit smaller guy, but he's kind of a jitterbug. He's all over the place.
Kai Robinson's moving up now.
Yeah, he is. And I think that's because people draft him higher than he's rated. Yeah, so for me, I'm going Mickens, the safety.
You want to look at line?
Sure. Take a look at offense. Fairchild's an option here. Guard from Georgia. Check the tackles as well, because there's dudes hiding. Not much there. So it's Fairchild or Mickens for me. Let's see what the chat wants. Can you guys do an undrafted free agency mock? Gary says DJ there, B money. So he's talking about DJ Giddens up top. Go click on DJ real quick. I don't know too much about Giddens. He's the running back right there for Kansas State. Let's see his size. 85 rushing grade. He's 6'1", 212. He brings good eyes, patience, and anticipation to a backfield, finding open space between the tackles with good one-cut ability, long strides for long speed. He needs to play with more violence to gain yards after contact, but he is to truly make a name for himself in a running back rotation. So solid running back. I think that there's going to be dudes later, like RJ Harvey's a guy that I really like. If we wanted to take running back, let's click on a tight end. Harold Fannin Jr. Go down again. He was right here, a couple names down, right here for Bowling Green. Wow. Holy shit. Look at that. Go back for a second to stats. 95.9 grade in 2024. I've never seen a grade that high. I've never seen a grade that high. Let's see what it says. Fannin is a strong receiving tight end with great value after the catch. His blocking reps are good enough to keep him in line as a tight end too, or as a wing back on occasion, but his bread and butter in the NFL will be as a tight end who you can quickly get the ball to after the catch for production in a tight end centric passing attack. Sounds good. He's only 230 pounds though. 6'4", 230. He's 20 years old. He's not 21 yet. I like that. Reading that, I'm like, I'll take that.
I mean, he can grow into it.
Yeah. He could be tight end too in a year, probably. What do you guys think about what I said there? 6'4" tight end, laugh out loud, he says, David. He says Giddens is a stud. Trust me. Let's go Giddens. The crowd wants Giddens.
Okay. I like it. I like getting the running back.
They said that tight end was too little.
Yeah, I mean, well, he's 20 though, right? So he's going to gain 10 pounds or 20.
I like Jalen Reed. Click on Jalen Reed. I don't know if we read his thing earlier. It's a good safety. So his grades aren't fantastic. First thing that jumps out to me. His run defense was much better in pass. He's a stout box safety, fits well as a depth option in aggressive schemes that keep one safety near the line of scrimmage. His coverage skills remain a work in progress. Okay. So that's something to keep in mind with that guy. All right, maybe not him then.
You know what I'm going to look at? Where you at?
Fairchild's still there. You looking for Seth?
Center's gone.
Click on Fairchild. Good pass blocking grade. Likely to at least serve as interior depth with his constant or consistent pass protection skills. Whether or not he can improve the functional strength will determine if he can develop into a starter. 6'5", 315, 20, almost 22 years old. I don't think we have taken a guard yet, so we might want to pop this here.
Yeah, it's definitely something I need. It's a name I haven't looked at.
Willie is an undersized guy who people really liked at the Senior Bowl, but he's real small.
Jesus. No thanks. No thanks. He's 5'11".
He did really good at the Senior Bowl, but yeah, he's small.
Oh my god.
Daniel says Fairchild. David Ditter says your Mitch at tight end probably still there. Check the tight ends. Hey, we say little people now, David.
Yeah.
I'm trying not to get canceled here, sir.
Yeah, well, this isn't the 90s. Oh shit. I'm trying to get rid of that. Here we go. Tight end.
Nothing. It just dries up so fast. Those are all the guys we looked at prior and we weren't happy with them. Tight end is, like you said, they're probably going to bring in a couple undrafted free agents.
You already took the running back.
I think I just grabbed the guard. Valuable chess piece. You know who likes chess pieces?
Probably want the guard.
Yeah. Fairchild it is. There he is. All right, one more pick. Let's see. So what are our picks so far? We got Kenneth Grant, right? The running back and so Kenneth Grant, DJ Giddens, and Fairchild. And we're rounding out the mock. You know who I want. He's right there.
Malachi Moore.
He's looking at us. I mean, come on.
Malachi Moore.
Anybody in the comments know why Moore is rated so low by PFF? Because everything I read about him, pop it up, read it. Everything I read about him, it's like this guy's a baller. He had an 84.9 grade. He got better every year. He's 6 foot 200, 23.6 years old. Versatile, high IQ defensive back with experience in the slot and at free safety.
Coverage grade.
He lacks ideal length and top end athleticism, but his strong career production, including a 91.8 coverage grade and 81 run defense grade, points in reliable depth. What's the problem?
I'll take him.
Yeah.
This is a solid draft.
Just like that guy.
This has actually got more flash than our last draft.
It helps when your first pick is Kenneth Grant and then you get that DJ Giddens, who he's got I guess more star power to him than
like that. I feel like it's these guys got a chance of playing right away.
I think they graded it. Oh, scroll down a little bit more.
50 percentile.
50. Okay, so we scored 1% better than our last draft.
Worse.
We were top 49% last time.
Yeah, but that's better than 50.
You got it.
But you just basically got to take the highest available player to.
Yeah. This is a great draft. Watch Giddens sometime. I will, David. I haven't watched.
I took a look at him. I just don't think, I just feel like running back's a long shot, but we'll see. A for me, Daniel says. I agree. Yeah, I would again, me, that's what I want, right? I was talking about it, taking a running back with our second pick and getting the defensive player with our first.
You know what? This is how I want to end the show tonight. What is everyone's draft routine? What do you guys like to do draft day? Dave, what's your draft routine?
I've gone live every year with the group. I'm not with the group anymore, but so I think about going live again though on my own for the first round.
I'll tell you
I don't have so last year I watched some YouTube channel that was on, for my draft to pick, for my information that was coming out, because I don't have any, I don't have cable. So
Daniel says that his routine is to cuss at his TV until the pick is made. So my routine for the draft every year, the night before, you got to watch draft day. You got to watch the movie. It's not a great movie, but it just sets the
this is my
tone.
problem with it. It's so unrealistic.
Yeah, it's not a great movie. It's just nostalgic, and I gotta watch it every time. I've actually seen it like twice in the last week, so I got that marked off. I like to watch the year prior's draft in total, like the 3-hour draft. I like to watch that at some point because I record it and then I'll end up deleting it. But I may not delete the JJ McCarthy draft just because I like watching that. And I'm weird like that. I keep it saved. And then the day of, I typically go to work or something. Tomorrow I actually blocked the afternoon. I'm going to play a little golf and then pick up. So this is what I do every year. Papa John's pizza. Pick up some Papa John's
what I had
and some
for dinner.
breadsticks. So here's the thing, like around where I live in Chicago, like we don't eat Papa John's a lot because there's so many good pizza places around. But on draft day, I'm going with old reliable Papa John's nostalgic childhood pizza and those
I just got a shakaroni.
Nice, dude.
I just got a shakaroni and
So that's
a
my
2-liter
routine.
bottle of Crush. Orange Crush.
And I try to stay off Twitter so I don't get the picks tipped, but I will say to everybody here, I have so many bookmarks for the Chicago Bears fans saying that they're getting Ashton Genty, and I pray to God I can throw some of those back in their face when they don't get Ashton Genty. And didn't work out for me.
The same thing that you saved all those
Lions,
Detroit Lions.
Yes, dude. I had so many bookmarks for the Lions game, like week 18, like literally. And then that post that I was like, I can't wait to release these bookmarks. It went like viral on Lions Twitter, and I had like 100 people coming after me, like, "Where are your bookmarks now?" Yeah, it wasn't a great day for me.
I stay out of that shit. So
oh no, dude!
Far away from that shit.
Give me all of it. Give it all. Dave has been watching some McCarthy highlights. Hell yeah, dude. I'm so fucking excited to watch that guy throw a football in spring camp because I'm a sick individual. I'm so sick. We all are. That's why you guys are here. Skull, what's up? Welcome.
You have the longest YouTube name in the history of YouTube. Skull
Dude,
Vikings, let's go, Minnesota Vikings news fan.
David is like against short people. He says Genty's going to bust because he's 5'8". Dude, Genty's going to be a damn superstar. I'm telling you right now. He's going to be a superstar. We don't want him in Chicago.
Let me see how big his hands are. Genty.
David, how tall are you? I got to know.
Me?
No. David Ditter. He's got to be 6'4".
Genty draft.
I didn't know that Genty had fumble issues.
He has 9 1/4 inch hands. He's fine. 2'11" for 5'8".
Now he's not
short arms.
I don't think he's the same like type of running back as Gibbs. I think Gibbs is so explosive. I think Genty's more just slippery. Like you can't tackle him. Like he just has such great contact balance and a good stiff arm that you can't tackle him. Yeah, Dave is taller than me. I'm 6 feet. He's giving me the little man taunt when he scores on me.
Can you dunk?
No way. I used to be able to touch rim back in the day.
I have touched a rim.
When I was 18, I could touch rim. Well, I got nothing left on the docket, guys. Is there anything else you guys wanted to touch on before we wrap it up and call it a day and hurry up and wait until tomorrow at 7 p.m. where the fireworks start happening? Dave, do you let's talk about this real quick before we're done. Do you foresee a shocking trade? Because all today we've been hearing that the Bears want to move up, and there's been two names: Abdul Carter at 3 and Ashton Genty at 4 or 5. So, do you think we see something like that? Because personally, I don't. I think the Giants are going to stay and take Abdul Carter because there's not a lot of superstar talent in that top 10. So the teams at the very top are going to want to scoop that up, right? Travis Hunter, superstar talent. Abdul Carter, superstar talent. Genty, superstar talent. I think those guys are getting taken real quick.
Yeah, if you have a chance for if you trade down and the talent drop is that much, you don't do it. You don't do it at all.
I agree.
Especially if you think you're not too far away. Bears picks. What I was looking at what the picks are for the Bears.
Yeah, this quarterback class, Daniel says the quarterbacks look meh. This quarterback class sucks. I'm not even sure about Cam Ward.
I'm not the highest on him, man. This guy should not be a number 1 overall pick.
No. JJ McCarthy would easily be the number 1 overall pick this year. Easily. Yeah, this is a good question for you, Dave. Gary's wanting to know what you think about Kirk coming back only as a backup.
It'd be awesome. It would be like one of the few quarterbacks that I would feel like we still have a season left if we lost our starter.
Yeah.
You know.
Do you have concerns that you would have to pick up $10 to $20 million of his contract or no?
I think he would just fit like a glove that it's probably worth it. Although I obviously would want just McCarthy to be this. These guys ask me because they think I'm a Kirk fan.
I know that. I know. He says I'm fishing, y'all.
Says I'm fishing. So I'm all as soon as we traded him, or as soon as he signed somewhere else, I was like, I was wanting JJ McCarthy to start last year. I was the Sam Darnold hater, but after 3 or 4 games, I was like, God, he's fucking playing good, right?
Yeah.
So then I was like, hey, if he finishes the season out, and he didn't. So I'm all about McCarthy starting. I don't feel like it's threatening his starting job if you bring in a Kirk Cousins, but I think I feel better about it if he goes down, if McCarthy goes down and we have Kirk Cousins to step in. I still feel good about our chances.
Yeah, dude. I agreed with someone in the comments who said that I don't think Kirk is going to want to go anywhere to be a backup, but if there are no starter jobs available, do you think that he would rather be a backup here or rather be a backup in Atlanta?
I would rather be a backup for a guy who's never sat foot on the field, right?
Yeah, Penix
especially a guy
barely,
with an injury, especially a guy that just came off an injury.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, he's comfortable here. So, I highlighted Steven's comment because we were talking earlier on Twitter, and he would be much more, and Steven, please correct me if I'm wrong, but it seemed like Steven would be much more comfortable with Nick Emenwari than I would. And I cited Lewis Cine, and I said earlier in the show, Steven, I don't think you were here, but that's probably a little bit of an irrational fear. Steven told me to scout the player, not the helmet. I understand that. We talked a little bit about how I'm worried about the Combine Warrior. I'm worried about his lack of see it, go get it. He's built to play in the box, but he's not great at playing in the box. He's actually more of a pass defender right now in his game. There are some analysts who really, really like his game and see him growing into a Pro Bowl player at the safety level. And there are some analysts who, like Thor, who just don't want to touch him. And not even until
when you brought up slow recognition, that is just a nail in the coffin for
safety. Yeah, for safety. That's trouble.
Safety, corner.
Right.
Or more so linebacker and safety, but
yeah,
you have more of the field to worry about.
It's legit one of the only names they can say tomorrow that I'd be like, fuck. But caveat, but I do trust Brian Flores. I said this earlier. I trust that guy to identify talent and to groom talent. And when this team picked Lewis Seen, Flores did not pick him. Okay. And he had the injury. At that point, obviously, the team moved on from him, and he just wasn't going to fit what we were doing. So we can't all just say, "Hey, this guy reminds us of Lewis Seen." But there are just so many other options that I'd feel better about, that I would be down on the Eminwari pick. I absolutely would.
So
Now, he asked about Starks, and we talked about this earlier, Steven. I love Starks. I'd be fine with Starks at 24. I like Starks. What were
I'd
you
be a
going to
little
say,
more
Dave?
excited if we got him later, but I was looking at the Chicago Bears draft picks. They got the ammo, man. 2 second-round picks.
Would you say
They got the
3?
ammo.
2. Yeah, 2 second-round
39
picks.
and 41, and then they got 72.
So
yeah, they
if
got
they're
the
going to
ammo to
go
trade
up to if they're trying to go up to 3 to get Carter, I think that's going to cost them a 1 next year. I don't think there's any bones about it. You're trying to get in the top 3. That's going to cost you your first round pick next year. So that's going to be a lot for them to pay if that's who they want to go get. And I don't think the Giants are going to let them get up there and take him. But with Genty to get up there to 4 or 5, I think they could just package the 2 second rounders and get up there with 10 and make that happen. I'm really hoping that doesn't.
Yeah.
Really hoping that's not the case.
Yeah, if he
now,
falls.
At the end of the day, I would talk myself into, okay, at least they paid a shit ton to get up there to take a running back versus, hey, at least Genty didn't fall to 10 and now they have 2 second-round picks that they also get to, build up their team. So we can kind of poke fun at them that they overpaid, I guess. But again, I don't want to see Genty and the Chicago Bears. I just don't.
Yeah, he's saying Kenneth Grant is a second pick, and that's what we just did with that last draft. And and I like it. I liked what we did with that draft.
I want everyone in the comments to answer this question because I talked about this earlier. My gut is telling me the Vikings trade back and take Donovan Jackson, left guard from Ohio State. Stephen B., how do you feel about that? How would you feel about Donovan Jackson taken late first or early second round? David, Daniel, how do you guys feel about Donovan Jackson? I don't think it's sexy, but I do think he could be a day one starter. I think he's athletic and he fits what the Vikings are looking for, and he has tackle flexibility as well. So checks a lot of boxes.
What team was that from?
Steven says he wouldn't hate it. He's a big draft guy, so I like that.
Texas? What was the offensive tackle from where?
Donovan Jackson?
Yeah, where was he from again?
He plays at Ohio State.
Ohio State, sorry.
So their left tackle's name is Josh Simmons, who's going to go like top 15 somewhere.
You said this guy's moving to guard. Yeah, and we took him in that first draft. But
well, this guy, Donovan Jackson, is a guard. But Ohio State's left tackle got hurt before like the playoffs, and he played left tackle.
Oh, okay.
He moved to left tackle for them to play in a pinch. And guess what? He went up against Abdul Carter against Penn State and held his own at left tackle against this guy. So he's athletic as shit.
One of the things I like is when I go look, and we did that with Revel, and the Revel had like a great fucking game against Michigan. Mm-hmm. At least in his first 3 highlights in his highlight reel are him against Michigan. As 2 years ago. So when you see a player play good against a top talent and game speed, and I'm Senior Bowl, whatever, but in a game, everybody's hyped up, 100,000 people in the crowd, and they ball out against a top talent. That's why I like to see that. That moves me a lot.
I agree, dude. Well, we got to wrap this up.
Except when Lewis Seen does it and wins MVP, defensive MVP. and then,
we got to wrap this up because I hear my wife toe tapping upstairs. Like, where the hell is this guy? Yeah. Daniel, he says Zabel is my ideal guard. Love Zabel. From everything I've heard today, he's not making it past 18 with the Seahawks. So I think that dream's dead. Yeah, a lot of people are talking. Daniel Jeremiah saying that guy's going high. But everybody, thank you so much for joining us tonight. This is, again, tomorrow's one of our favorite days of the year. It sounds like Dave's going to go live. You can join him, listen in while you're watching the draft. But everybody have fun. Enjoy it. And if we don't make a pick tomorrow, that's okay, because we're going to get together Friday. We're going to have a great time, and we're just going to get to watch more picks throughout the next couple of days. So, Skull, everybody. Wish upon a star that Kwesi can hit on something this year. I love my guy, but he's got to hit on a damn draft pick. Let's go.
Yeah,
all right,
because technically he hasn't hit the last year yet, and we're still waiting on that. But he did hit on Addison, so
yeah. All right, Skull, everybody.
cool.